today you approach me. I've been thinking about you and you only. And we just like a fuck, that's nothing else, you know.
What's good, y'all? So in this video, I'm gonna be reacting to ZV. I think is how you say his name. I don't know. I don't know. But the wildest election in American history. Now I debated so many times. I was like, should I cover something regarding this? Like, I don't know if I really want to bring politics to my page. You know, you can't really. People are set in their ways. You can't convince nobody, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was to a point where I could say it was like other controversial videos, right? Fresh and Fit, so maybe a commentator just speaking on an online issue regarding racism. I could just say I don't like racism, and hey, I was for some reason getting attacked for saying I don't like racism, and oh well, it's not that big of a deal. You just like y'all, it's a word, or I don't think that. I didn't even say anything wrong in that video, to be completely honest, but mofos were on my butt. Or if I'm just like, oh, I do feel like, you know, women should be treated equally. They mofos come out the woodwork talking about, oh, I just don't understand. I was like, bro, do I really want to like talk about how I feel, who I support? Thought about this for a while. And I just have one thing to say before we get into this video. If you have a problem, it is what it is, right? Just is what it is. Hey, if this causes me to lose subscribers, that's just tough. That's just tough. Anyways, R.I.P. Nipsey. Oh God, what is ZV about to say? I need to know.
Elections. Let me tell you about the election that basically came down to one vote. The wildest in American history, in my opinion. This is not a scene from a movie. This is not a scene from a movie. Now, let me tell you why them folk looking like this. So these guys named Al Gore and George Bush were running for president of the United States. And they both had a problem. America was split right down the middle. Democrats, Al Gore, George Bush, Republicans. Now listen to this next part closely because they don't teach this a lot in school. In America, it is not just the person who gets the most votes wins. Absolutely not. We have something called the electoral
college. So if you win the state and it's a big state, you get the votes, right? I feel like that's how it works, right? And I think the state that has the most electoral votes is Cali, I believe. They have like 50 or something like that. And then Texas has like 40 something, and then, you know, so on and so forth. But Florida's big too, I think. So that's, yeah.
College system, which basically means winner takes all. If 51% of Texans say Republican, every one of Texas' vote goes to Republicans, which is why someone like Donald Trump wouldn't come over to California because he knows that's chopped. In fact, someone like Kamala Harris wouldn't spend so much time in California either. She knows she got it in the bag. So they'll go over to the places that are 50-50. A big one being Florida. In fact, it was literally Florida.
Hey, listen, Florida. Hey, you know what? I'm going to leave y'all alone. I see how the motherfuckers is doing you on TikTok. That's tough. That's tough.
Take a look at these two numbers up here. They're tied because there's something I forgot to tell you. You need 270 electoral college votes to become the president. Florida was going to push either one of these men to 270. But then they went down to Florida. And they were basically tied again. So everyone was waiting for that 1% of people to decide the election. After it came in, they said, Al Gore wins. Everybody said, oh my God, that's so beautiful. They said, we just playing. George Bush wins, I think. Al Gore comes in and said, boy, did I win or not? They said, first of all, you're not president yet. Watch your tone. Second of all, I said Bush wins, I think. So Al Gore gets ready to congratulate George Bush and make a speech saying, hey, I lost and all that. His campaign manager said, come here, stupid. You lost by 900 votes. Here's where it starts to get wicked. 900 out of 6 million people. That's 0.01%. They said, you need to recount the votes, Florida. Florida said, absolutely. Let me get started right now. That's a lot of votes, though. Enter the Secretary of State of Florida, Catherine, who got famous from this whole election thing. She said, that is a lot of votes. Now, it's important to note, she's a Republican that worked on George Bush's campaign. She said, George Bush won? Y'all only got a few days to count the vote. Al Gore came and said, a few days to count millions of votes? Are you stupid? She said, I know you are, but what am I? Al said. Okay, so we're only asking for 4 counties. Listen closely. Al Gore was only asking for 4 counties to be recounted because those were the most important ones to decide the election. It wasn't realistic to count all Florida's 6 million votes. The Supreme Court of Florida said, Catherine, come on, you got to give them a few more days. We're going to give them a few more days. Okay, the county said, let's do it. They started counting. Remember, 4 counties. One of the counties said, count it. Another county said, count it. It looks like instead of 900 votes Al Gore was losing by, he's losing by 500. Catherine said, what the other county say? The other county said, we Florida, baby. One of the counties said, we not doing it. It's gonna take two, we not doing it. Everyone in America looked at the county, they're like, yo, you need to count those votes. They said, you gonna hit me? No. And the other county turned in their votes a little too late. So they said, okay, George Bush wins by 500 votes. Al Gore said, bro, y'all need to run that. Y'all need to count again. Stop playing with me. First, Big Al loses by 900. Now Big Al loses by 500. How that make sense? Count again. They said, all right, you got it. That does make sense. But here's where it starts to get wickeder. Florida gets exposed. Since they had to count again, they started looking into how Florida counted its votes in the first place. And it was bad. Duplicate votes thrown away.
So Florida just be on bullshit all the time. Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, I know y'all got the Gators, and that might, like, got y'all minds fucked up or something, but, like, get it together. Fuck. Just, like, go outside and there's, an alligator chasing them down the street. I know. I bet that's, like, stressful. But I think we have to, learn how to cope.
Little machine threw away 30,000 votes from people overseas that lived in Florida. I mean, I didn't count this one in time. Just throw it away. But most importantly, black voters. An overwhelming majority in favor of Al Gore. 10,000 votes thrown away. Why? Because they were called felons. Apparently, their system confused thousands of black people as felons, so they just didn't count their votes. Mistakes, America was shocked. So the U.S. Supreme Court had to step in. But at first, they didn't want to step in. They're like, we don't know. Florida Supreme Court said, big bro, we was already handling it. U.S. Supreme Court said, we may not know, but that's going to be better than you. Go stand over there. And their decision shocks the world. They say, stop the recount. Bush wins. But they came to this decision by 1 vote. 5 Republican Supreme Court members said, stop the recount. 4 said, bro, y'all gotta recount the votes. But many people believed that Al Gore was looking like he was gonna win if they recounted it. But here was the Supreme Court's argument. They basically said, Florida's system is so jacked that we have to fix it to recount the vote.
Yeah.
As we've seen from how jacked it is, we need to count everyone's votes in Florida, not just those 4 counties. We don't got the time. So we just gonna say, screw it, Bush wins. People all over were like, nah. Supreme Court was like, what you gonna do about it? Al Gore said, calm, still, calm. George Bush, you got it. I lost. You got it. Bush said, appreciate you. Now, what them folk in Iraq doing? And well, that's your system in a nutshell. I hope you learned a little more about it. Even though more people voted for Al Gore, he technically lost in the Electoral College, so George Bush becomes president. And I want you to pay special attention to the power balances we just talked about. In regards to Trump and Harris, I need you to really listen for this part. Donald Trump did not give you money during the pandemic. Another system of government.
I don't mean to offend anyone, like financial positions, but if you voted for him solely because he gave y'all $1,200, and y'all were geeked for $1,200. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? I don't know, but this is why I think I have some type of like a little bit of an issue with some of these things. You went through compared policies, and you thought that he was the better choice. I have some questions, and I'm saying strictly from policies. I just have some questions because I feel like that probably aligns with your moral view, and the things that are, being presented are just like human rights being taken away. Most things are not in favor of any of those groups I just named. I get why rich people voted for him. I kind of understand. Rich people who really don't give a, like, they don't care. They're going to get some type of benefit from this. But Everybody else kind of not understanding. Not gonna understand it. So whatever.
Government did that. Remember when George Bush won at first, and then another system of government, the Supreme Court had to step in and say, wait, we have to double check. Remember when Donald Trump last election said, no, I beat Joe Biden, and another system of government had to step in and say, no, you didn't. You need to learn how your system of government works if you want to change it. I personally think schools don't really teach it like that because...
And they're not going to teach it anymore because he wants to get rid of the Board of Education. So shit. If we were, if we've produced some idiots with the Board of Education, let's just wait. Let's just wait till all they have is their phones.
Story for another day. Because when you learn that, you'll realize how important your state elections are. Yeah, this is important, but what happens in your state, the laws in your state will completely change the country. And red, you've been conned, you've been fooled. Donald Trump just copied Ronald Reagan's strategy down to the slogan. So tax breaks for the rich, more taxes for the poor. And he did it masterfully. Y'all know he's a businessman. What do businessmen do? Make money for you or make money for them? It's donezo. That being said, for anybody who voted Donald Trump, you don't have to believe me now. I'll just see you in 4 years.
See you in 4 years. And what I've been seeing as of late is that a lot of people that voted for him did not know what they were voting for. So when they see some of the things he is already saying that he's going to do, day one, mass deportation. He getting anybody up out of here. He trying to get anybody up out of here. Okay? He already is putting, what is it, like adding, or something about the inflation's about to go up. I don't know why, who believed that he was about to take shit down or whatever, or if y'all thought because when he was president initially in the beginning, like the economy was pretty good. That was Obama's economy. Then when people were like, well, Corona, the gas prices were, no one was going anywhere. We had to legally be in the house by a certain time. It was a curfew. What? Stores were closed. Where were you? Were y'all traveling in COVID? Who cared about $1 gas if you weren't going anywhere? I be getting mad. Like I start thinking about shit. We weren't in the cars, okay? We didn't get in the cars. We weren't moving around. People were dying. I mean, I guess 1,200 is cool, as long as you don't die, right? And also, as a college student, I did not get $1,200. Would I have felt differently if I did? No. See, what else? Multiple people were losing their jobs. Businesses were, falling under. All of these things, but mofo was talking about some fucking $1,200. I'm not here to argue with nobody. I'm just here to, because it is what it is. It's done. Okay, we voted. The outcome is here, and we have to deal with it. But I feel like anyone who voted for him, I hope y'all get what y'all wanted. I hope you reviewed the policies, and I hope you're okay with what is about to happen. And that's about it. Who texted me? That's about it. Don't get in these comments talking shit. I don't. Or do. I don't care. Do what you gotta do, I guess. If you're that angry. Whatever. But anyways, y'all come subscribe, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I will see y'all in the next one.